Well, that's JimTaylor. Like, why walk up the stairs when you can climb it? Anytime you're in or around Hawaii and you're listening to somebody speak, the way you excuse me, the way you start your speech is I say aloha and you all say aloha. Okay? Aloha. Aloha. Well, that's pretty good. That's a lot better than I thought. So I'm not going to have to do it, make you guys do it again because you did good the first time. As Murray said earlier, we're here to honor and recognize the folks on the USS Utah. Those that were lost, those that are still inside that ship, those that are buried up the punch bowl, those that have been sent back to the United States, then United States, now mainland. 3 of them for proper burial that were identified. Those folks, and also obviously those 3 that are here tonight and all the rest of them that were able to escape the ship during the attack. More important that we need to talk about are all of you folks in here. You're the family, the friends of the USS Utah. And it's not a big secret that our numbers are dwindling with the survivors, and that's not fun, but it is a fact, and you folks out here in this audience need to carry on the legacy that they left for you. Tom Brokaw was pretty good. Greatest Generation. The military personnel today have learned an awful lot from the Greatest Generation, although they might not know it. The Greatest Generation during World War II created the mold that our military personnel are using today to serve. It's a great thing, and you people that were here during the war, the 3 of you and all the rest of them, and you family members should be very, very proud of your either present or absent members of that generation that did what they did for our country. This is fantastic. I mean, Tamla Calavan, and Sister Diane. This is awesome. And you guys did it. You had some help, there's no doubt about it, from other people, but I can't remember ever attending a function. It is as fantastic as this is. You guys really, really did it. Now, talking about the USS Utah Memorial, back about 6-7 years ago, President Bush signed a bill that made the USS Utah part of a national monument, National Valor of the Pacific to be exact. Since then, the National Park Service has done absolutely nothing as far as getting it open to the public. Most of you may know that if you look up in the hospitality room, there's some copies of a newspaper article that I basically wrote for the writer. I've sent letters to the Secretary of Interior, Ms. Sally Jewell, congressmen, senators, and everything like that, and I have received 0 responses. And that was about 3 months ago. Well, I'm not quitting. I'm going to get that darn thing open to the public. I wish I could have had it open for CECL, because I told them I'm working hard on it. So when I get back, I got a new letter I'm writing. Return receipt requested. I'm sure that you probably didn't receive my letter because I didn't get a response. But in the Park Service, it's amazing. If you look at the picture that's in that newspaper article, the memorial had all those paint chips hanging around, and it was really ugly. Well, as soon as that picture appeared in the paper, the very next day, all of a sudden the paint was cleaned off and it was repainted. And the National Park Service, obviously, they said it was part of an ongoing, scheduled work on the USS Utah. Now, that hadn't been any work done in 8 years, 7 years, so because it was in the newspaper, now the memorial looks a lot better. So that I did accomplish that. I have a lot of sailors, our volunteers. They come out and clean up the area around the memorial all the time now. I even got the chaplains to go over there on their time off, thanks to the senior chaplain. So it looks good. It looks a lot better. It still needs a lot of work. And one way or the other, folks, I'm going to get that darn memorial open to the public. I'd like to introduce my family. I have Miley here, who has volunteered to be the official photographer for this event tonight. So she's walking around taking pictures to know who she is. And then I have my youngest daughter, Lonnie, and her husband, Joe, who is joining me. And of course, most of you know Nora, my wife of 15 years. I think about the Pearl Harbor survivors that are with us today, and we have one that jumps out of airplanes. Now, I never could understand that. Why jump out of a perfectly good airplane? But last week was Dalton Walling's 94th birthday, so he decided to go out and jump out of an airplane. So that's what our greatest generation does to pass the time. Let me see, Gil Meyer, he's got 6 acres that he cleans up with his tractor every day. Now, anybody that wants to climb up in a tractor and get beat up by an oak tree, something wrong with that picture. Yeah, he's showing everybody now. Bill Hughes, what does he do? He goes out and talks to the history classes in the local schools. And that's admirable. Bill, I don't know, there you are back there, okay. But that's great that you're doing that, and you're passing on the legacy of your generation to those students. The Utah is getting a lot of business, if you want to call it that. As most of you know, I'm best known for returning the sailors that were here during the attack back to Pearl Harbor, where they want to be after they die. So they can be with their shipmates, their brothers, yes, their brothers, that were killed that day. I've done over 350 of them, and about 325 of them were off the Utah Memorial. So it's not that the memorial's not doing any good. I don't know if you folks know it or not, but there's a lot of graves up at the Punch Bowl Cemetery that are marked unknown because they just buried him and they didn't know who it was. Thanks to another Pearl Harbor survivor who lives in Honolulu, his lifelong dream is to have those graves disinterred and identified with the modern day technology that they can actually identify people with bones and so forth. Just a couple weeks ago, DOD says every one of those Oklahoma graves are going to be disinterred and identified. That's because of the work of Ray Emery, who's a Pearl Harbor survivor who's on Honolulu. After the Oklahoma ones, it's going to be Utah. I've been promised that. So those 14 graves up there at Punch Bowl that are marked unknown, they're going to be known, hopefully, identified. I'm going to try, and I don't know if I can be successful because it'll be up to the families. I'm going to try to get those 14 put inside the ship. This is a bittersweet night for me. I think the greatest thing that I wait for, I'm looking forward to the next Utah reunion the day after I get home from the reunion. So for 363 days or so, I'm looking forward to the Utah reunion. And it's rough, because I have so many people that are friends that I probably won't see again. And I want to thank all of you for being here and honoring your heroes. Most of the Utah and Pearl Harbor survivors would tell you they're not heroes. Well, I'm different with that. Bill, Wally, all the rest of them that are still around, and those that are gone, are heroes. Anybody and everybody, including this mass chief and that chief back there and these sailors, in my eyes, they're heroes. They're defending our country, and God bless the USA, and God bless the United States, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.